Hello, my name is Orange Gamer and welcome to my channel. In this video I will go over my current Facebreaker build. This character is capable of delivering high amounts of DPS while sustaining most heavy damage. This guide is aimed for players that can afford to buy expensive items or already have the required items. So first, the skills. This build is built to utilize auras and to max the potential damage and defenses such as resists. The auras that I use are Hatred. The Hatred will add 36 of your physical damage as cold damage, so you basically do 36% extra damage as cold on top of your physical damage. Next is Purity. This will give you a 27% to all elemental resist, so that you can take more damage from elemental sources. And the third one is Grace, which will give you 1940 additional evasion rating, and combining that with Iron Reflexes, it will give you more armor basically. In addition to this, I use Enduring Cry to further increase my resist and armor. Enduring Cry is good for mitigating elemental weakness. You can also use Warlord's Mark for life leech and gaining endurance charges. Warlord's Mark helps a lot with tackling physical reflect area monsters. The main skill for damaging is Frenzy, and my secondary skill is Cyclone. The Frenzy skill gives you 1 Frenzy charge per cycle of attack you do, not counting the extra attacks from multistrike. The more frenzy charges you have, the more damage this skill does. It also increases your attack speed, sorry, which will further increase your DPS also. The Cyclone skill is handy when needing to get to a priority target through a mob of monsters, but beware that it can desync a lot. Every skill gem that you use that are an active skill, such as Frenzy, Cyclone, Warlord's Mark and Enduring Cry, should be linked up with Blood Magic skill gem. So now the build. The initial focus of this build was to be able to use at least 3 auras. So one of the most important bits are the passive nodes that reduce the mana reserved for auras. So the first one is over here. It's called Reduced Mana Reservation, which will reduce your mana reserved by 5%. It's between the Iron Grip and Blood Magic in the southwest of the passive tree. The next one is Charisma, which will reduce your mana reserved by 10%, and the next one is also one here, Reduced Mana Reservation by 5% leading up to Charisma. You will find this just above the starting point for Ranger. There's also one over here, just over the starting point for Shadow, which will further increase your reservation by 5%. But that is not actually needed, in my opinion, because it will not give us an extra aura other than a low level clarity, which we don't need because we don't use mana. The next important bits are the standard in most every other melee builds: Resolute Technique and Unwavering Stance. Unwavering Stance makes you not able to evade enemy attacks, but you can also not be stunned, so that is very good because we want to get as much life leech as possible and as much effective damage as possible, so you don't want to just stand there and be stunned. The other one is Resolute Technique, which will leave you unable to deal critical strikes, but you can never miss, or your hits can't be evaded. Next up are the health modes. Grab as much health as you can. Since you already do a lot of damage being a Facebreaker already, you don't need a lot of damage nodes. And there really aren't that much damage nodes that you can use that will increase your only melee damage, not in combination with any weapons of any sorts. So the examples of damage nodes that you can have is melee damage in the starting from the Templar, the Duelist. which gives you 15%, 12%, and also here 10%. And you can go up to the starting of the Scion, which will also give you 15, 6, 6, and 6. Other than that, there aren't really any nodes that increases your physical damage other than this though. This will help a little bit. 4%, which is not that much. You also want to grab any armor or evasion nodes that are available to you, not too far away, and also the resistant nodes that you come by. For instance, the diamond skin, diamond flesh over here. And I think that's the only resist node that I have, actually. If you need on lower levels more resist, you may be able to get to some resist nodes in the Templar area maybe, or find something nearby. But that is not actually the priority in the build, because that you will find this resist on your gear. So that leaves us to the gear. The gear that I will mention here is, as I said in the beginning, it's the most optimal gear configuration in my opinion, although it might be difficult to obtain if you are a new player or doesn't have any, or you do not have a lot of currency. So obviously the Facebreaker is the core item. You should be looking for a legacy item because, well, the difference is the legacy item is the original Facebreakers before the launch, as the Facebreaker was in the open beta, because that will roll from 800% to 1000%. The non-legacy item will roll from 600% to 800%. And this will give you up to 1000% more unarmed physical damage. So you will do more damage without using a weapon. And this will scale all the flat physical damage that you have on any other gear. And it also will stack from the small passive nodes here in increased melee physical damage, but not that much. The next item is the Abysses. This is a helmet that will drastically improve your damage output, since all flat damage scales with the gloves. The important part here is the 40 to 60 physical damage, which will give you a lot of damage. Also, the armor is quite handy. The drawback here is that you will take 40% decreased physical damage for monsters, which is why you want to get as much armor and physical damage mitigation as possible. Next up is Mega Nerd's Girdle. This is obviously the belt. Same function here as the helmet. It gives you 10 to 20 physical damage, 10% life, and 20% cold resist. So these three items are the unique items that, at least that I use. People often ask me, why don't you use the Bringer of Rain? Well, the Bringer of Rain is awesome, but you cannot use the chest piece, and in my case, seeing that I don't have a lot of passive nodes in the tree, I need my chest piece for resists and life. You should be using a 6-linked chest piece to get the most of this build. This chest piece should also optimally have tri-resist and life, and a lot of evasion or armor. The chest piece that I use is actually temporary, because I'm trying to 6-link my other chest piece that are better, because it has 3 resists, more life, and about the same amount of armor, really. Oh, maybe more, actually. The shield you want to have a lot of armor or evasion on. You also want life and resist here too. I use this shield because it has a lot of evasion, and it also have okay-ish life, some lightning resist and some life regen, but the optimal will be if you can get triple resist, life, and increased armor. Boots, also there, life, resist, and movement speed is the important parts. Also, this should be armor based and as high armor as you can get. On the rings and amulets, also again life, resist, and as high physical damage as possible. This is really important for this build, that you can stack the most flat physical damage that you can get. And the rings and amulet are good sources for this. The gems that I use. My main skill is Frenzy, as I previously noted. With the Frenzy, I use 20 quality Frenzy right here, and I use 20% quality melee physical damage. I use Blood Magic, obviously, Multi-Strike, 20% quality, Melee Splash. You can use quality here, but it will only increase your AoE, and Faster Attacks. You also can use 20% here, but that will only increase your attack speed, and while you will get more DPS, it will not actually do more damage per attack. And so lastly, the flasks that I use. I use 2 Hallowed Life Flasks, one that dispels Shocked and one that dispels Frozen and Chilled. I use 2 Quicksilver Flasks, one that has immunity to curses, and the other one only has elemental resist, but this should be remove bleed. I just haven't rolled it, and to be honest, I haven't had the need to remove bleed until now. The fifth one is a Granite Flask, 3000 armor. This should be bobbled. I don't know why I haven't, but obviously 20% quality, and with 93 increased armor during flask effect, or as high as you can get, really. So that's it, really. This has been a very short guide through how I play my new build. If you guys saw my old build, that's outdated. That is before the launch, and that is doing some stupid stuff with the Blood Magic passive, and yeah. So this is a much better build. If you want to do a Facebreaker, you should go in this direction, in my opinion. Use this build if you want to, of course. Hope you like this short guide tutorial thingy. If you did, please leave a like or favorite, subscribe, comment, and all that stuff. And maybe I'll make some more informational videos for you guys.